Hello and welcome to JSB Talks Digital, the podcast for marketers, digital transformation champions, and those of you bringing your skills into the digital age. I'm Joanne Sweeney-Burke and this podcast is brought to you by Digital Training Institute. This episode is all about mindset and the role it plays in our online businesses. Coming up on the show, in social media news, Twitter is testing a subscription-style ad program. Insights come to Facebook groups, and Facebook releases its second quarter earning results for 2017. I interview Amanda Tooke, online entrepreneur, spiritual life coach, author, and creator of a concept called MAP. In shoutouts, 3 mindset gurus we should follow to help reframe our thoughts about money mastery. Ask JSB, in JSB's column, the battle for mindset as a digital marketer running an online business. And find out what digital marketing reporting tool saved my working week.
Social media news.
As Twitter continues to test new features and re-engage lost users, it's turned its attention to an ad subscription program. The microblogging site is said to be testing an ad model that costs $99 per month. So, for the monthly fee, Twitter would promote up to 10 tweets a day in addition to running month-long promoted account ads. So what do you think? Would this entice you to sign up? I'd love your thoughts. Tweet me to @tweetsbyjsb. We've all been waiting on Facebook group insights for quite a while. But this week they began to roll out to all users. Do you have them yet? Group Insights will give admins access to real-time metrics around growth and post engagement, including how many new members have been added in the past 28 days and the percentage of growth in the past month, the total number of posts, comments and reactions, and how that compares to the same period last week, last month or last year. A graph in Group Insights charts activity level by time of day and day of the week. This can help determine the best time to post content or host group events, such as a Facebook Live. A collection of the posts that received the most likes, comments and views during the selected time period will also be shown. This will help Facebook marketers understand what makes these posts popular. You will also see a ranking system of your membership showing who contributed the most posts and comments during the past 28 days. And finally, you will also see a breakdown of your membership by gender. The second quarter 2017 financial report from Facebook makes for very interesting reading, and it's so far removed from Twitter's ailing advertising revenue. According to Mark Zuckerberg, founder and CEO, we had a good second quarter and first half of the year. Our community is now 2 billion people and we're focusing on bringing the world closer together. That's right, Mark. Over the last quarter, Facebook has increased its daily active users by 41 million to 1.3 billion and their monthly active user total by 70 million to 2.01 billion. Last month, Facebook became the first social network to reach the 2 billion user milestone. But perhaps more important is that engagement levels are in line with user growth rates at 66% in overall terms. Mobile continues to grow in prominence, with 87% of Facebook's ad revenue now coming from mobile advertising, up from 84% a year ago. Finally, this quarter's report also confirms that Facebook is going to proceed with 6-second videos for advertisers, with COO Sheryl Sandberg saying, "Video is an important part of our mobile strategy. 6-second ads are already being used by YouTube to reduce ad avoidance by viewers."
Interview.
In today's show, I'm delighted to be joined by a fellow masterminder. Amanda Tooke is an online entrepreneur, spiritual life coach, author, and creator of a concept called MAP. Amanda and I are fellow entrepreneurs in Sigrun's VIP Mastermind and have always been both intrigued and impressed by Amanda's approach to her online business. So I just had to have her on the podcast and let her explain to me how she's built a 7-figure business, not simply because of her products or her knowledge, but because of her abundance mindset. Amanda, thank you so much for joining me from Northwest England.
Thank you, Joanne. It's lovely to be here. I'm delighted you asked me to come along and join you today.
Tell my listeners about your business and how much of your business is actually online.
Well, the second part of the question is really easy to answer because it's all online, everything. And I really struggle to tell people what I do, but because I struggle to give myself sort of a title. But I help people find happiness, success, inner peace, break through their blocks, their fears, their limiting beliefs that leave them in that really stuck place. I'd like to do it in a really fun, grounded, non-woo-woo way, because do you know what? It has to be practical. It has to fit into busy lives, because as entrepreneurs, we're all busy people. So it's all about, working with the person and the business, because, when you're in business, you can't just take part of you to your business. You are the whole thing. So everything is connected. So, if your love life goes down the pan, your relationship can run into your business and it'll make you wobble. If your cash flow isn't flowing, that'll help, cause problems within your other area. It might be your health, it might be your relationships. It's all connected. So I work with the whole of the person and support them in that way. But I like to get results fast, because do you know what? We all want change and we want it now. So I do like to go fast with people. And I often grade people, ask them how happy and content and in control they feel at the beginning when they start working with me, and then how they feel at the end. And one client has gone from a 0 out of 10, which I was actually really alarmed at. Nobody's ever been a 0 before when they started, but by 3 weeks, she was gone to a 7 out of 10. So I have a program called the Happiness Generator, because everybody wants to be happy, but everyone's happy is a different thing. So it's personal to them. I have a membership site called Abundance Club. I work in masterminds and groups as well as my one-to-one things. It's a joy to do, an absolute joy to do. It really is.
So you've been running an online business for 8 years. Maybe we could call you an early adopter. How has the internet changed in that time? Social media has evolved. And do you think it's harder now for lifestyle entrepreneurs to make money online because everybody seems to be jumping on the bandwagon?
You know what? I give thanks for this technology every single day, because we have so many amazing opportunities with it. And I certainly have an amazing business and life from it, because my business did start as a shop, actually back in 2009, I think it was a shop. And I don't think it's any harder. And I don't like to think about competition, because I want to focus on what I'm doing. And to be honest with you, I don't worry about the rest of the other people, because that's their journey. I'm only focusing on my journey. I'm sure there's loads of competition, but if I'm going to focus on that, I'm not going to get the results that I want, because what I believe is really, really important. So it's the same with pricing. I don't look at other people's pricing. I go with what I feel aligned to, because I'm always aligned to the end result that I want. And I just live, breathe, and devour law of attraction every day.
I think that's excellent advice, because I know certainly in my industry and the world of digital marketing, we can become obsessed with what our peers are doing, and it really drags us down, and we certainly lose focus. But I want to talk about the MAP model, and that stands for Manifesting Abundance Process.
Yeah, it is. It's exciting. I love the MAP. It's what I've been teaching all along, but I've put it into a proper structure now. And it's a 7-step process that I've created to help you manifest in any area of your life. It's something I've been teaching with my one-to-one clients, but now I've released it into my membership site, Abundance Club, and my next book is going to be all about it too. So the working title is The Map, the Route to an Abundant and Successful Life. So we have 7 steps plus a bonus step. So step 1 is receiving mode. When we're manifesting and we listen to a lot of law of attraction teachers, they often miss out this step, because we can have all the clarity and focus that we want, But unless we're in receiving mode, we're going to block it. It's never, ever going to come. So receiving mode is about having fun, and how much fun are you having? So it's looking at that in everyday life. And then we have step 2, which is clarity. You need clarity. You need to have clear vibration going out into the universe to tell it exactly what it is that you want. And then we need to keep our focus. That's step 3. Keeping that end result in mind. And sometimes we need to do some clearing, which is step 4. So sometimes we're not, something isn't turning up, so we know we're a little bit blocked. So we need to clear our beliefs on that, because we have all these things that we've owned and adopted, and quite often are other people's beliefs. So when we were growing up, if you were told, you have to work hard for your money, all those things that you heard when you were growing up are often things that sort of sit in your energy field and are still there blocking you from having what you really want. So we perhaps have to do a bit of clearing. And then step 5 is alignment, and it's always keeping your energy aligned with what you want. There's little exercises you can do every day to do that. Just things that you can do whilst you're in the shower, whilst you're driving to work, all those things, because it's all not going to take any extra time. And then, it's about guidance, because let's face it, we're not doing this on our own. We have, connections to the upstairs. We are always connected, whether we, want to use it or not. But life gets a lot easier when you're using and following your guidance. So then, if you've got an end goal in mind, you'll be getting ideas of how you can achieve that. And it's about following that guidance and looking out for synchronicities and that sort of thing. And then it's about celebrating, because you should always celebrate, because quite often we're so busy looking forward, we forget how far we've come. And we don't celebrate the little things that happened because we're so focused on a big result. But that celebration, that, that excitement, it builds that momentum and that energy. So everything else starts to flow so much better. And then there's a bonus step 8, of really working with your intuition and getting a little bit more developed and working more with energy, so that everything just flows so much better. So that's what the map is.
Wow, so practical. And I think each of those 8 steps we could take into our daily lives, because again, if we have blocks, if we're not focused, if we don't have clarity, then how can we expect that to transpire and transfer into our businesses?
Absolutely.
We better address the cynics now, because some people might describe your work as woo-woo, and you've actually, used that term yourself. Is what you do more about mindset than spirituality, or is it a blend of both?
Oh, I do love a good cynic. I really do. But it's definitely both. And I like to keep it, really practical. There's no rituals. There's no sacrificing goats or anything like that. It's very, very simple, easy connection. It's about connecting to yourself more than anything. But it's giving yourself time to process things and keeping it real, remembering that we really are spiritual beings and we're having a human reality. And quite often, if we miss out the spiritual side, things don't flow. There's the wheel of life, and spirituality is a big part of that. Whatever you believe that to be, I think it's all the same, but we all experience it differently. And then, it's about creating an abundant mindset, and abundance can be anything to anyone. You can have all the money in the world and not feel abundant, and you can have no money and feel really abundant. So it's about working with that. And for me, I was in my spiritual closet for a long, long time, because I thought if I came out and told people, tell them what I was seeing and experiencing, because I am, profoundly clairvoyant, they're going to think I'm crazy. But realize when I did step out of my spiritual closet that there was a lot more spiritual people out there than what I thought. And do you know what? It's nothing to do with religion. It's nothing to do with wearing tie-dye shirts. It's about your beliefs, and it's about finding a way that works for you so that you can live your life to its true potential. And, having angels on your side makes life a lot easier. It really does.
So I want to turn the attention now to me. And to get some of your advice. So I'm a super salesperson in the real world. So when I'm in a face-to-face situation in a boardroom, there's nothing I love more than getting that sale over the line. I love it. But there's a hesitation for me in developing my online business, and I've been really struggling with why that is. I get so far, I create all the content, but when it comes to launching or putting it out to the internet, I just stop, and it seems that I'm paralyzed by fear. Do you think that it's a mindset thing? And do you have other clients that, you know, have the same experience or the same blocks?
I have a lot of clients with fears, and no two are ever the same. You know, they'll sit differently within your energy. They'll have come from different places, but basically fears are all very similar, and they're often irrational and come from your ego, and they're there to keep you safe. So for you, you know that boardroom selling as such is, you know it works. It works for you. It's what you know. It's what you do. What you're good at. You get a buzz from it. You really enjoy it, and you're probably thinking that, well, they need to see me. I need to see them. It's how you're wired. It's what you know already. It's based on your past, and it's all very true. So, how can you possibly buy, or how can people possibly buy from you, if you're not in front of them? It'll never work. This is what your ego is telling you. You're going to get disappointed. You'll fail, and then what will happen? You've wasted all that time. How will I afford to send my kids to school? What about the holidays? I've promised to everyone, I'm just going to fail. It's not going to work, and this builds momentum and builds in your energy field. And you become paralyzed. So you just don't do anything. So it's okay. I'm going to stick to what I know. I'm going to stick to where I know it's safe, because this works. I'm not going to change it. Why should I change it? I'm just going to stay where it feels really, really safe. And the first thing to do is acknowledge the fear, okay? Because, you can totally smash it, actually. Just knowledge is power with fears. So, ask yourself, where does this come from? Is it true? Ask yourself some questions, put pen to paper, journal upon it, and go deep with it. And then start creating yourself some new beliefs around it with affirmations and visualizations, because they're the belt and braces always for changing your mindset. An affirmation is something that you say over and over and over again, which retrains your subconscious mind. And then visualizations, visualize, having amazing, sales coming through PayPal or whatever it is, that however they come to you. And work on it. Just don't beat yourself up. If you beat yourself up, you're never going to move forward. But, cut yourself a bit of slack, give yourself a bit of forgiveness. And I totally believe that you could do whatever you want to do, as long as you set your mind to it. Does that feel like a fit?
Absolutely. And I guess I've kind of known that I've been in my own way, and I guess you've reinforced that. But I think finding out why I have those blocks is something that I probably need to work on. And it's nice to hear that it's the ego and it's not the real JSB that's talking. So thank you. Mm. Now, I did mention at the outset that we're both in Sigrun's VIP mastermind. This is my first mastermind, and I know you have masterminds of your own, but how important do you think peer support is important, and what role does it play in developing an online business?
Well, for me, who works from home, I only have to come down the stairs into my office. And, it's a huge support, because it's a lonely life sometimes being an entrepreneur and working online. And I think it's really good for me to get support within a mastermind with people that are better at things that I'm poor at. And this is what's within our, group that we've got, because there is great support in there with a lot of technical stuff, which is where I sort of fall down a bit. So I think it's really important as an entrepreneur to have support around you and have like-minded friends. You are the average of the 5 people that you hang out with. So you might as well hang out with the 5 people that you want to be like. So I think it's huge, absolutely huge.
And can you give my listeners 3 top tips to creating and sustaining an abundance mindset?
Only 3?
Only 3, because they're going to have to go and get some more to your membership site.
So you need to work out what abundance means to you. Is it your dream car? Is it your hot tub? Is it your holidays, relationships, friends, family, home, health, money, spirituality, fun, contribution, success? Look at the whole bigger picture. And really writing a journal about what it'll feel like to have what it is that you want. Think about the bigger picture of how it'll have the ripple effect with your family, with your friends, when you've got what it is that you want. Because really get into what the feelings are, because that's what the universe listens to, and that's what the universe responds to, is your feelings. So the more clarity you can have about what it is that you want, why you want the hot tub, or the new car. I say hot tub a lot because that was one of my big manifestations. So what you want, why you want it, and how it'll feel. So those 3 questions that you need to ask yourself. And then I would say for the second thing is really about thinking about the one main thing that you want to create. So you might have a ton of ideas that you want, but focus on the one thing and create a positive affirmation around it. And if you use the words "I am," I have an abundance of perfect fit clients ready to work with me, is a really good affirmation. Or I am easily earning X amount per month, is another good affirmation. And do that whilst you're in the shower. Okay. In the morning, say it over and over again whilst you're in the shower. And then the third thing, perhaps at the end of the day, you could do some gratitude work and start being more grateful for what you've got. And the more you can be grateful for, the more you'll have to be grateful for, because it has a rolling effect like that. So try and think and stretch yourself to think of 10 things every day and mix it up a bit. Don't use the same 10 things day after day.
Thank you. Fantastic tips, Amanda. And finally, I want to drive my listeners to find out more about you. Where can they find you online?
You can find me at www.theangelmystic.co.uk. And of course, over on Facebook, facebook.com/Mystic Moon UK.
Amanda, what a pleasure. And I've watched you for the past 7 months, how you work, how you develop your online business, how you've evolved, how you develop your processes, and finally, just your abundance mindset. I've learned so much from you, but now I guess it's time for me to put it into action. So thank you so much for joining me on JSB Talks Digital.
Thank you, Joanne. It's been a pleasure.
Shoutouts.
In this part of the show, I give shout-outs to brands, organisations or individuals whose work online is remarkable and worth talking about. In this week's show, I'm giving shout-outs to 3 mindset masters who are worth following. And I know these 3 guys personally, so I can vouch for their expertise and their knowledge.
1.
Our brains are like Teflon for positive and Velcro for negative. We brush off compliments and dwell on criticism, creating a skewed self-image. This instinct to survive before we can thrive can hold us back as we amplify potential threats and tune out evidence of our greatness. These, my friends, are the words of George Anderson. George is a coach, a presenter, a writer and a motivator, and he's also coach to JSB. George combines his expertise in physical and emotional well-being with mindset and motivation. He speaks at events across the world and once ran 10 marathons in 10 days in his hometown of Thame in the UK. Find out more at georgeanderson.com, or if you're a budding or a passionate runner, check out his runningbygeorge.com website.
2.
Make the impossible possible, whatever that is to you and whatever it is that you want to achieve. They're the words of motivational speaker and personal and business coach, Jerry Duffy. Famous for running 32 marathons in 32 days, Jerry is also an entrepreneur with the Jerry Duffy Academy and the Jerry Duffy Speaker School. He helps individuals and entrepreneurs realise the best of themselves through his series of coaching programs. He's also the author, and his current title is Goal Setter, 35 Different Ways to Reach Your Goals. And you can get a free chapter from his website. I had the opportunity to interview Jerry earlier this year at Pendulum Summit, and he gave me some advice ahead of my first half marathon. You can watch that interview on the blog post associated with this podcast. Find out more about Jerry at jerryduffyacademy.com.
3.
Grow yourself, grow your people, grow your business. These are the words of James Martin. I love this quote also. James is a highly experienced life and business coach. I've known James for many years, and his insights into personal development continue to both amaze and faze me. James works alongside Tony Robbins and has developed his own suite of programs, including training people to become coaches. James specialises in training, in coaching, mentoring, speaking, consultancy, strategy, leadership development, and also online courses. I interviewed James recently, and you can watch our conversation on mindset on the blog associated with this podcast. Find out more about him and his coaching programs at teamlifetraining.com.
Ask JSB.
Ask JSB brings the voices of my listeners onto the show. So you now have an opportunity to ask me a question, have it aired on the podcast, and I will respond. If you want to hear your voice on JSB Talks Digital, simply leave me a voicemail at digitaltraininginstitute.ie/askjsb. Today's question is from my mentor, George Anderson. This is a question he's been probing me about for quite a while, so I thought it would be appropriate to have him ask me publicly on the podcast.
Hey JSB, it's George here. I've got a quick question for you about your online business. You've got an amazing product bio account, and I'm curious to know, why haven't you launched it yet? What's been stopping you?
Thanks for your question, George. And indeed, your question is timely, as I've been in a mindset battle with myself around the launch of my online knowledge products for quite a while. It's one of my 2017 goals to launch a series of online programs for marketing and communications professionals across the world who won't get an opportunity to work with me face to face. But I've been holding myself and my colleague Jamelia back from launching, and I really didn't know why. Well, that is until George helped me uncover why just last week. So I'm going to share my 3 light bulb moments with you. Firstly, I realised that my motivation for launching online programs was because that other people in my industry were doing it. Not the best motivation. Secondly, I also realised that I've been working hard for many years trying to build a business that would fulfil me professionally but also personally, so that I could spend more quality time with my family. And finally, I was working on my calendar from now until the end of the year, and I realised that I actually have no more capacity to take on any more business. So, my new motivation is to go online and sell myself and my products, because then I can have capacity. Thanks, George, for helping me see the light and joining up the dots in my mind.
JSB's column.
In today's column, I'm sharing my own mindset journey with you. Mindset is more than a state of mind. I think it's a physical state also. I've always prided myself on my mindset, describing it to my inner self as optimistic, fiercely determined, and always willing to learn. But it wasn't until the beginning of this year, in January, that I had a deeper realisation. Developing my mind and my mindset is an absolute must for my business. I have to admit, up until then, I had considered myself smart. I invested in my business and in my professional development, and I thought that would grow my business. But I was wrong. I was missing one central piece of the jigsaw. I forgot about me. I know. How on earth could I have done that? How did I go through 15 years of working and being self-employed without even considering that looking closer at me as a person would actually help me to thrive professionally? Nevertheless, the breakthrough came, and during the 2017 Pendulum Summit at Dublin's Convention Centre, I sat and listened to speaker after speaker talk about mindset in the context of wealth mastery. The theme was Unleash Your Warrior Mindset, and I actually thought I had it all worked out. Sure, amn't I a warrior anyway? I told myself. I don't really need to be here at all. Just check out my backstory on my TEDx talk. But I was wrong once again. Jack Canfield didn't tell me to go get a 12th qualification. Nope. Keith Cunningham told me I needed to take more thinking time. John D. Martini told me to follow my passions. Do what inspires you, not what motivates you, he said. Lisa Nichols told me to lodge $1 every day in the bank of me and to invest in myself continuously. Robin Sharma warned me of putting my ladder against the wrong wall. So, with all of this new and profound knowledge, I left Dublin and began to rethink my thinking, and I've been doing it ever since. As I track my master plan for the remainder of 2017, I have an open mind, an open mindset, and I will continue to work on developing the personal JSB, and of course, not forgetting about Joanne too.
Social media tool of the week.
The digital marketing tool that saved my working week this week is Whatograph. Whatograph is a marketing performance reporting platform that automatically converts website and social media data into visual, simple, and understandable infographic reports. The software features automated data gathering capability, allows it to automatically collect data from over 10 sources, including Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Google Analytics, and lots more. Once you have the data you need, Whatograph lets you create custom templates to make sure that your data is visualized exactly the way you want it. On top of that, you can embed branding elements into your reports for added personalization. It will solve a number of problems for digital marketers, including spending too much time manually putting reports together, trying to explain analytics to non-techies, and having customized branded reports on the go. Watch the demo video on the blog post associated with this podcast or register for a free trial at whatograph.com. Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of JSB Talks Digital. I've really enjoyed talking about mindset. To ensure you never miss a show, please subscribe on your smartphone. Put me in your pocket. You can find me on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and of course on the blog at digitaltraining.ie. I'm also looking for more questions, so send them to me by logging on to digitaltraininginstitute.ie/askJSB. I'm Joanne Sweeney Burke. This is JSB Talks Digital. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you soon.
JSB Talks Digital.